And we back. Here we are. All right. It is good to see everybody. Anyone who's gonna be doing videos here on Uncle Fred Ranch channel discussing Dallas Cowboy football. We're gonna be discussing Alabama football. We're gonna be discussing Philadelphia 76ers basketball. We're gonna discuss all things sports, and we're gonna go at Uncle Fred's pace. Whatever he wants to discuss, we'll be in here and we'll be getting it done. All right. So I want everybody, with no further ado, I want to introduce to you all the infamous, the one and only, that guy. He looking around. He know who he is though. Uncle Fred, man, and Uncle Fred is notorious for his wonderful historic rants that he goes off into, man. And I want to say that I think myself and many others have always encouraged Uncle Fred to get out here and really just share that energy with other Cowboy fans, sports fans in general. So truly a passionate gentleman. And I think, I've been fortunate enough to be graced with his presence for a long time. So, it's good to see that energy now being shared with the world. And I just want to go ahead with no further ado and introduce the man with the plan right there, Mr. Uncle Fred. What's up, man?
What's good, GK?
Hey,
What's good?
hey,
What's good?
nothing much, man. I'm trying to get in here with you.
Well, no, that's a good place.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we'll roll with it. We here now. So.
We here. And today we are here specifically, like we will be on many nights, to discuss the Dallas football Cowboys. Dem boys are back. It's that time of the year. And I want to dive right into it, man. So I won't hold anyone up any longer. Let's dive in, man. So what's the general outlook for the team? How you feeling? What is it looking like this year?
Well, I am guilty as charged.
Okay.
Being a Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
Been a subject of a lot of highs and lows in my life.
A vet.
And I've seen a lot of things come and go.
Yeah.
Last season wasn't how we wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as with every beginning of when September rolls around, it's like everything's 0-0.
Yeah.
Everything's 0-0.
Mm-hmm.
We got just as good a chance as anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
It's 0-0.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm optimistic.
Okay.
That some things can come together, and I think we can have a good season this year. I'm really saying. I'm not gonna say Super Bowl. Not saying that.
You know you could. You want to. I'll throw that out there, man. Ain't nothing wrong with getting bold now.
But I think we can have a good season. I've seen all the prognosticators. They're gonna go 8-9, 7-10. I've seen all that stuff.
Sound good.
And I think we're a little better than that. Yeah. I think we can do better than that.
I think so. I agree.
So that's where I'm at. I'm pretty optimistic. Definitely think we can be a playoff team. Absolutely. And then let's see. Let's just see where it goes from there.
Absolutely. And I would have to agree, man. And so, I just want to jump into the elephant in the room, man. We all see it. We all want to talk about it. Mr. Dak Prescott, big money, the big guy, big foe.
Yeah, big 4-0.
Yeah, big 4-0. Or Skip Bayless say, man,
right.
Mr. 75.
Yeah, about 75 yards this year, right?
Oh man. So I think you got a guy with that kind of prestige and that kind of, I would say, historical trajectory. If we go off the last time we saw him, he was putting up historic numbers, in a sample size, and obviously his ankle turned the wrong way, and it was a very gruesome injury.
Very gruesome.
Yeah, and so I want to see the Dallas Cowboys really demonstrate to us, well, Cowboy Nation, a level of confidence in Dak going into Thursday that he'll be ready. But I'll defer to you on the subject. I just wanted to throw that out there and say, hey, what's the temperature on Dak, man?
Well, I can give you my temperature on the room.
Absolutely.
And I do know Dak Prescott's kind of a lightning rod.
Yeah.
In terms of, because he was drafted in the fourth round, there's a lot of people never really gave him the due he should have got. Mm-hmm. Or thought that, sometimes people never let you overcome where you came from. If you understand what I'm saying, where I'm going with that.
I think so.
Sometimes it's hard to overcome, where so no, he wasn't a 5-star. He didn't come from the most prestigious of programs. There were some less than NFL level quarterbacks that teams was drafting ahead of him. They're not already in the league now. Mm-hmm. So I get all of that. Mm-hmm. But I will say this, and I don't know how other Cowboys feel. Do I think that Dak Prescott is the most talented guy? Is he Patrick Mahomes? No, I'm not gonna say that. But this man is a face of a franchise.
Yeah.
He is all of the things you want your starting quarterback to be. Mm-hmm. How he carries himself.
Hey, man.
How he is before the rest of the team.
Yeah.
The way that he, it means something to him to be the Dallas Cowboy quarterback.
Absolutely.
And so that's what you want your quarterback, your face, your franchise, the guy that's when you see all the marketing materials that's out and you see his face on it, you're not embarrassed to have him to be the leader of your franchise.
Yeah.
And so that's always been my thing with him, because there's some guys out there that can't do what that do in terms of being out front of your franchise. They try to hide him. And that's not one of them guys.
Yeah. I would think that's pretty fair to say. Just when you get a chance, man, yeah, kind of scoot back so we can see you real good. But anyway, I'd have to agree, man. I really like Dak. Always have. Really fond of, his backstory and the ability to really ascend and take opportunity when it was handed to him and do something with it. And again, a guy who was on a trajectory to break some records last season, if we're being honest. A guy who the Dallas Cowboys have connected themselves to in a major way, in a major invested way. And so, because of that and the weaponry around him in terms of skill position players, I would have to feel as though, this sets up as an opportunity this season to not only, sort of take the helm of the division, but also put yourself in a position to host a couple playoff games, man.
Yes.
Get your feet up under you, get that confidence building with the franchise and those guys on the defensive side of the ball, and just really take off this season. And, I know it probably sounds like the same song that Dallas Cowboy fans are used to, but I don't know, man. I think here's an opportunity for it to actually reach its fruition. And, going into the season with somewhat of a question mark around his health is quite interesting, considering the setup is set up so well. The offensive line being healthy now, having a motivated Zeke back there, receivers who are ready, three guys, three-headed monster who are ready to contribute. It's like, man, it feels like a opportunity, man. So I guess I gotta hope from the outside looking in, those guys can really seize it. And so, with that being said, man, I wanted to transition with you into some players to watch this season, man. Guys who could potentially break out on the roster, or even guys who are due for a bounce back season. And I just wanted to get your temperature and, based on where you're going with it, man, we can follow that trajectory all season and see what we get. in terms of following those guys in their progression this year?
Well, there's a couple of guys that I'm gonna mention today. A couple of guys that you're gonna be right there with me, and it's gonna be a couple. It's gonna be maybe one or so. You were like, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna have I'm gonna give you the low hanging fruit first. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Low hanging fruit first.
That's the Fred I know right there.
You reach up in the trees again. Okay. All right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm going with that.
Yeah.
The low hanging fruit. I think CeeDee Lamb is going to be a monster.
Absolutely. Easy.
I think CeeDee Lamb is going to be. I think that kid can be as good as he wants to be.
Easy. Yeah.
Yeah. Big, strong, physical.
All that.
Good hands.
All that.
Good agility after the catch.
Absolutely.
And then he's a load to bring down once he's got the ball in his hand. He's one of them receivers that you really not wanting to tackle.
Very elusive, man.
Once he gets the ball in his hand.
Elusive. Sneaky elusive. Well, maybe not sneaky anymore. I think guys probably underestimated, how elusive he is once he gets the ball and he got some space. And it's like, man, that guy ain't, he ain't no muffin out there, man.
Nope.
He ain't no muffin, man. He might not be.
That guy can be as good as he wants to.
Yeah. So I would have to agree, man. You're right. Low hanging fruit.
That's my low hanging fruit. Yeah. I think I look for CeeDee Lamb this year to maybe even have. I'm not gonna put it out there like that. What did he have last year? Like 50? No, he had 74 catches. I think he could have 90, 95 catches this year.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay.
And I think he's gonna have some catches. He's gonna be like it's gonna break Sports Center. He's gonna have some catches like that.
That's what he did for. That's what he do. That's what he
do.
That's
the low hanging fruit.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Gotcha.
All right, on the offensive end.
And now
I'm naming you probably never heard of him. I'm like, this guy's gonna have a good season.
Gonna step out on the limb.
Remember, you heard it from Uncle Fred first.
I'm with you.
And I want y'all to come back.
We all heard it from Uncle Fred first, right here. That's right.
Here's my up in the trees apple.
Gotcha.
We got a tight end named Blake Jarwin.
Okay.
About 6'5", about 250.
Mm-hmm.
Runs like a 4.6, 4.7 40, which is pretty good for a guy that size.
Absolutely.
Sneaky athletic. And when you're a tight end, he's a tight end. I don't know, maybe I didn't mention that he's a tight end. Did I say tight? Yeah, I think I did.
You did.
And tight ends are like your quarterback's best friend. You're throwing to them on the seams of the defense, and they're usually, you're throwing to them against safeties and things like that that they're bigger than, or a linebacker that they're quicker than.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they kind of got these little instant mismatches. Most tight ends, what do they do? Give them like this little 7-8 yard pass, and maybe break the tackle, and they go down and say 8 yard game.
Well, what do we call that, man? The Jason Witten special?
Look, man, Jason Witten did a lot of our friends. I'm not there to knock him, but he was missing something.
Hey, man. He made a living out of that right there.
That's Mr. Cowboys. Yeah, he was a 6 yard reception.
Indeed.
But I have seen this kid break out 30-yard catches and 30-yard touchdowns and lose guys and run. And I think he got hurt the first game of the season against the Rams out there in LA. Mm-hmm. We broke in SoFi Stadium last year.
Yeah.
Tore his ACL. Very first game of the season. But Dak didn't have him the rest of the season, not knowing 3 games later he was going to get outgone for the season too. But Dak says he's probably one of the least likely guys that you think that is athletic as he is. And tight ends, if they're implemented right, tight ends can really turn the tables with your offense.
Agree.
Especially when you're getting guys on the outside that's double and single covered and things like that. Those middle of the field catches, you got a big target like that.
Yeah.
Can move the chains and do some more things. So Blake Jarwin.
Gotcha.
I think he could be borderline Pro Bowl-ish.
Woo.
Borderline Pro Bowl-ish.
Woo. You going there with it? Okay. You going there with it. I ain't mad at it. Okay.
So
we got.
Those are my two. That's my two guys on offense to look for.
Now, okay. So we on offense. What about defense? And also, as you discussed, I wanted to get some feedback on you guys' draft this year and how you were feeling about that.
Well, first of all, the draft didn't go as we thought it was going to go.
Sure.
I will give us
well documented.
Maybe they're going to take the credit, but I'm not getting into that. For changing on the fly, which most top level organizations do. You go in with a draft board with who you think you're going to draft.
Sure.
And you always have to have a secondary and tertiary pick in case somebody picks that guy in front of you. You got to have a backup plan. Okay.
Sure.
So, I think all through the draft buildup, it was said we were going to get Patrick Surtain. That's who we were supposed to get. It was written. I'm thinking they may have even called him. Hey man, what kind of cowboy hat you want? I think they had talked to him pre-draft, just knowing that's the guy that they was going to get. Okay.
Fits the
mold. I think it didn't hurt that of course he's from University of Alabama.
Absolutely.
And, we ain't talking about them today, but
plug it in. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Plug them in, man. Yeah.
And I think they would have worked well in tandem. But a funny thing happened on the way to draft day. When you think you like a guy, you might not be the only guy on the team that likes a guy.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So somebody else jumped up and grabbed that guy. So we had to we made some draft switcheroos and with the Eagles and did some things and moved back down to the draft and was able to get who I think may be the most talented defensive player in the draft.
Talk about it.
But it maybe wasn't a need that we thought we needed because I think we thought in theory we had good linebackers. Okay, but the dude was just too good to pass up. And I'm talking about the personage of Micah Parsons.
Yeah, there it is.
That kid there,
linebacker number 11 out of Penn State.
Number 11 didn't play last year. He took the year off for COVID. I get all of that. But the last time that guy played, that guy's unblockable.
Big fast.
That kid's unblockable, man.
Big fast, get to the ball.
About instincts.
Yeah.
Of like knowing where the ball is and
yeah.
to diagnose plays.
Yeah.
That's the cherry on the top of our draft picks.
Okay.
I think that guy can put some of our linebackers. He's gonna put a lot of our linebackers on the bench with how good he plays. And some of them guys will have to come in nickel type situations, things like that, because he is gonna be so good. He's gonna be a guy that you're not gonna be able to get off the field.
Well, we ain't got to go there unless you want to go there.
And then in pass situations, it's gonna be hard to keep this kid off the field.
I think we know who you referring to. We ain't gotta go there. Never. Your favorite guy, man, who shall remain nameless.
I know we not talking about number 9.
Well, there it is. Yeah, man, your boy.
Yeah, okay. that guy gonna find himself on the bench. And then we end up getting a couple corners. A lot of people, we end up because we needed some corners. Our corners were not good last year.
I always need corners. Always.
They never found nobody they wanted to cover last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Guys were running open all day long.
Yeah.
So we picked up a kid from Kentucky. I think his name is Kelvin Joseph.
That's his name.
He's I don't think he's Surtain good, but I think he's good. I think he's good enough. If you scheme him right, I think he can be a very good corner. He's got long arms. A corner that has long arms, it makes it easier to cover because the angles by which the receiver can get the balls are cut off because he can, if he's a yard or so short of the guy, his arm length can make up the difference.
Yeah.
So those are like little things. Everybody don't know those kind of things like that. But I think he's gonna surprise some people. Of course, he's gonna be a rookie. He's gonna get tested.
Oh yeah.
Coming after him, they're not coming after Diggs. They got
him
last year.
So are you anticipating him actually getting some good run? Especially, in this first game turnaround, Tampa Town.
Oh, I'm gonna say it like this.
We throwing a rookie out there.
That dude number 12. I'm not saying that guys like that guy look for the rookie, but if it's three guys out there with 4-5 years of experience as a rookie out there, yeah, that's probably it's a good chance that's where they're going with the football.
Welcome to the league, young man.
Welcome to the NFL, man.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the NFL. And then we got a guy from Oregon State. I think his name is Nashawn Wright, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
He's okay now. Anybody that knows me, this is one of my rants. I don't like guys that talk too much.
Yeah.
Everybody knows me. It's like I like guys that do and don't say rather than say and then
hey man,
you come out and you say, hey, I'm a more athletic Richard Sherman.
Hey man.
I want to chill on that kind of. That's a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
Okay? And you've yet to make an NFL start, and so kind of chill on that kind of stuff, But I think the kid has promise. I think he's number 40. He's got promise, and maybe if the coaching is right, they'll get him like, look, kid, you got to get some work in before you start comparing yourself to Hall of Fame guys.
You play for the Cowboys, man.
A lot of work got to get done.
Got his juices flowing, paying for them boys, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But and then we got some other guys, but those are the three. Those are the three that I think are going to get a lion's share of playing time on the defense. Now there is a guy. I almost forgot about this kid.
Okay.
There's a linebacker that they got out of LSU. Everybody know I'm Roll Tide, but LSU we have some great players.
Absolutely.
State of Louisiana is one of the most underrated talent beds for talent that people may not know about. But they got this kid named Jabril Cox.
Okay.
Played a little bit at, I want to say it was North Dakota State. Mm-hmm. I think he played with, what's the kid's name in San Francisco?
Trey Lance.
Yeah. I think he played with him, and then I think he got some time in LSU as well.
Yeah.
I think that kid is going to put some of those veterans on the bench for some plays. He's looked good in the preseason. So those four guys, definitely Micah Parsons. I think Micah Parsons got Pro Bowl in his future, even as a rookie. I seen him going out on that limb, saw it off with me. I think Micah Parsons will be a Pro Bowler. Yeah. I think he got a chance to be defensive rookie of the year. I think he has a chance to be those things.
Okay.
These other guys, I think Dan Quinn, I think he may know how to stir these guys up and mix up. This guy is the architect of one of the best defenses I've seen in the last 15 years.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited about what they're doing, and I think if our defense, I don't want to get ahead of you, but I think if our defense can just kind of meet the offense halfway,
okay,
man, I think we can do. I think we can have a great season.
Hey, and me personally, man, here on Uncle Fred Ranch, I'm gonna hold you to it. I'm definitely gonna hold you to it when it comes to Micah Parsons. I hope so. A young fellow with a lot of talent, man. So
a lot of talent.
I really hope it pops for him and for the team. Got a couple guys I do want to run by you. As far as Neville Gallamore, rookie nose tackle.
Neville Gallamore.
Oklahoma.
We drafted him last year out of Oklahoma.
Excuse me. Pardon me. That is correct. I apologize.
That's fine. I like Neville Gallamore because he's one of those one of my YouTube guys I listen to. I'm not gonna put him out there, but he come. We like to call them guys in the middle, like a trash can full of dirt. What they call, I think we talk on one techniques. The guys in the middle of the line that you can't move. And really, you can't run the football or anything because of that guy, because he's holding up the middle of the line, and the guards and stuff can't get to the second level because he's there, like a big wastebasket full of, rubbish.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys.
Okay.
And I saw some flashes from him last year. I think when we was playing the Steelers, and Steelers, last year, and I know they had some guys left them, have one of the better offensive lines in football. And that guy stood up them guys a couple plays. And I think he's got somewhat of an injury that I think I've read about a couple of days ago. Mm-hmm. And I hope it's not serious. But that guy on the anchoring that defensive line, holding down the middle, I think if we can get 10, 12 games out of him, if he's not hurt, I think our defensive line can, I think we won't be giving up 300 yards rushing with that guy in there.
I hope not.
No, I like that kid.
Not with that linebacker.
Yeah, I like that kid.
Yeah. Okay. And last but certainly not least, man, I just got to bring him up. I know where you're going. Well, maybe not. But your guy, kind of my guy, I really like his game, personally. Diggs.
Oh.
Number one cornerback Diggs.
Yeah.
How you feeling about that?
Yeah, I like Diggs. Got good cover skills. Does take some gambles from time to time. I think he took some lumps last year. The Seattle game comes to mind where DK Metcalf just kind of made a mess of him a couple of times. But he made a couple of nice plays in that game also. DK Metcalf gonna get a lot of guys. Let's just get that out there.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf is one of the most physically gifted wide receivers in the NFL. He's gonna get you.
Yeah.
Eventually. So he got a couple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Diggs. I like his moxie. He ain't scared of nothing. Now when you like that, sometimes you get beat.
Hey.
But he's also one of them guys that like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get in there and just pick this one off. And so I like his moxie. Now I think he got some of his target practice last year. People had a bullseye on his back because he was the rookie. But yeah, I think he's gonna prove himself to be a very good, solid corner on that other side. Opposite some of the other guys. So I look for Diggs to have a great season this year.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be looking at him personally, when I'm tapping into the Cowboys, man. It's one of the guys I want to keep up with this season.
Trayvon Diggs, that's my guy there. So
whole lot of talent. And I actually, now you got me intrigued by where you thought I was going.
Well, I thought you was going to transition into guys that I'm expecting bounce backs from, but I'm not getting ahead of you. You the moderator.
Oh, no, we good, man, because
you moderate.
You know where I'm going once we get into that. Yeah, getting into that backfield with that guy. Mr. Zeke. Zeke.
Are you talking about Mr. 2-1?
Mr. Zeke. Mr. 2-1.
Okay, Mr.
Oh,
Zeke.
yes. A whole lot of respect on the name.
Okay. You might be the only one spreading that name. I'm going to say this. Anybody that knows me, that knows where my head is at, how I think, know that I have kind of been somewhat critical of him over the past couple of years.
I'm well aware.
Because I thought that maybe he was not getting the most out of his talent. It's not enough just to be talented. You got to work.
Sure.
You got to work at your craft. You got to work on your body. You have to stay on top of your diet. You got to, because especially when you're a running back, running backs notoriously have a very short shelf life, and you really don't have time to be parlaying, because the next guy is going to come in because there's a guy that got drafted after him the next year and just went right past him. And I'm talking about Mr. Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is a monster. And I look at him and I'm like, Zeke, that could be you. That should be you. Because, but what I am encouraged by, I think Zeke heard the whispers. He did not have a good season last year. Let's just lay that out there. He did not have a good season. All of that was not his fault.
Indeed.
Offensive line was not healthy at all in the whole season. Okay? I don't care how good a running back is. If your offensive line's not good, your offensive line is suspect.
Yeah.
You're gonna be, you're not gonna do much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're just not. Yeah. So some of that is not his fault. But then when I look at him and I see, like, dude, look at his weight, and I look at how he's not getting to the holes as quick as he used to. And then I look at him this year, man, he's down to like what he was as a senior in high school. I think he's like 218. Okay? They hired a chef, and he's like, on a good dietary plan. And I think he heard the whispers of last year. So I think you're going to get a very determined Ezekiel Elliott this year. So I look for him to have 1,300 yards and about like 10 touchdowns.
Nice. I hope so.
That's where I'm at with him. Our offensive line is back intact. Zach Martin, and I don't want to get ahead of you, but Zach Martin, Ty Smith, and Lyle Collins, Tony, they call him Badass, but I think his name is Biadish, in center. Mm-hmm. I think with Zeke, with his new and improved attitude and look at everything, I look for that to be a plus this year as opposed to a minus.
I would have to second that motion. I'm a big Zeke guy, as you know, so I'm going to consider last year a down year, and I'm gonna look forward to the bounce back, man. That's where I'm at with it. Really like Zeke, so hopefully, man. So I say this. Let's go into this game by game preview, man. Let's jump right in. Right. So I'm gonna go game for game. You just give me some brief analysis, and at the end of it, you let me know if we talking wins or we talking losses. Now, of course, to a Cowboys fan, we're going 17-0.
Well, anybody that knows me know I ain't that kind of Cowboy fan. Anybody that knows me, no, I don't think we're going to the Super Bowl every year. And I think we're not doing stuff right. I voice that.
Yeah.
And I hope that our viewers will appreciate the realness that I come with.
Absolutely, man. It's necessary.
Don't lie to me.
It's absolutely necessary.
I'm going to tell you what I see.
Yeah.
If I don't see them doing stuff the way they should be doing, they're not preparing the way they should be prepared, I'm going to say that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, let's go into that. I mean,
yeah, let's do it.
Where we start?
We are starting with Thursday. Now, granted, we're actually gonna dive in more in depth on Thursday's matchup because it opens up the season, the entire NFL season. So, all of us football lovers will be watching, regardless of whether we're Bucks or Cowboys fans or not, just to have football back. It'll be exciting. Okay. So, I think that's something we can dedicate to that video. But for the sake of getting things started, I'll take your win-loss, and then we'll move into week 2.
You'll take what?
Your win or your loss.
Game 1?
Yep.
Let me say this. The NFL didn't do us no favors. Let me just roll that out there. Okay? They didn't do us no favors with this. All right? Starting off the NFL season with the defending Super Bowl champ Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with all 22 starters coming back. I've been watching football 40-some years. I've never seen a Super Bowl team bring back every one of their starters.
Everybody.
Somebody needs to take some more money and go somewhere else.
Everybody.
I got my ring. Let me go somewhere. Every one of those guys took less or equal to market value and came back.
And guys that aren't starters in terms of, on paper, Antonio Browns and the Leonard Fournettes.
Yes.
Back.
Yeah. He's back.
Yeah. O.J. Howard. Back from injury.
That's your third wide receiver. That guy.
When you 3 deep at tight end, you got 3 awesome wide receivers. You got backs. Whoo.
Yeah. Good offensive line.
Don't they got what's his name? Giovanni Bernard.
Yeah, Giovanni Bernard from Cincinnati.
So you got backs. You got nice, 3 backs.
He's like one of those nice combination backs that you can throw it to out the backfield, make guys miss and that kind of stuff.
A Tom Brady guy, man. A Tom Brady guy.
He's a Tom Brady guy. He is what's the kid's name in New England?
James White.
James White.
Yeah.
He's a younger James White.
Yeah.
Tom Brady loves them guys.
Yeah.
Because you get them guys on the linebacker, it's gonna be trouble.
Yeah.
And he knows how to dictate the matchup where he'll end up on one of your slowest or worst coverage linebacker, and he's gone for like 25 yards in the first down.
Easy.
So that's yeah, man, and that's not gonna be. I'm not gonna say we can't win that game.
Of course not. Gotta have some faith in you guys.
But man, a lot of things gotta go right.
Tall task.
Man, a lot of things gotta go in our favor.
Yeah.
Man, we gotta get on the right bus. We gotta get on the right plane. We gotta get the right pregame meal. All that stuff got to go right, man. Can't nobody get injured.
Hopefully we pass that.
We can't have no penalties.
3-4 days out, yeah.
Can't have no dumb penalties. I mean, a lot of things got to go out in our favor. Okay.
Yeah.
But I do think there's one key thing that could give us an opportunity to maybe steal that game. Okay. If you want me to go ahead with that, I'll tell you what that is. I will. I can tell you that.
We can save it. We can save it, and we'll dive into it. Viewers, catch us on that video. Fred, he gonna hold that thought. He gonna dive in on that. So for now, I'm gonna put him on the spot for the win or the loss.
Stop the press. I think we're gonna win that game.
Bam! There you go. Bam!
Boom! I said it.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
We're gonna win that game.
Hey man. That's the purest energy right there. That's the
we're
purest
going to
energy.
Win that game.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why we're going to win that game. We'll go on to our next topic.
Yeah.
We're going to win that game because what are the expectation levels?
Very low.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We tend to exceed when we're not expected to do much. Nobody's expecting us to win that game. Goodness, they got all this talent. I read somewhere the Bucs got, ESPN just did 100 top NFL players. They do it every year.
Yeah.
Bucs got 8 of them guys in the top 100.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got 1. I think it was Zach Martin. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we got like 1, maybe 2. But I think we only got Zach Martin. I think that may be the only guy that we got in the top 100. So to say this is a daunting task is kind of an understatement. Okay. But it's the type of game where expectations are low. There's going to be 1,000,001 eyeballs on that game.
Yeah.
The pressure's on.
Yeah.
We got this big brand on our back. I think we can. I think that's the game. I think we can win that game. And I'm calling it. We're winning that game.
It's on record. It's on record.
We're gonna win that game. 31-24.
It's on record. Bow. There it is. Cowboys still game 1 in Tampa.
Yes.
There it is. So heading into week 2, we got on Cowboys.
31-24.
On the desk. It's on the desk. It's on the desk. Yeah. All right. So as we head, we're gonna call that an Uncle Fred lock. Yeah. Lock it up.
Lock it up.
Lock it up. All right. So we got Dallas heading in 1-0, 1 win, 0 losses. Week 2, bring it home, invite the Chargers.
Yeah.
Actually, I apologize. You at
That's
the
right.
Chargers.
That's right. That's right.
You're at the Chargers.
Yeah. We got 2 road games. We're starting to see now the 2 road games.
Okay. So you're at the Chargers in LA. They have a new stadium. They have a young quarterback. They have a lot of talent. They're looking to win as well. Uncle Fred Lock says you pulled off the upset of upsets game in week 1. Week 2, are we gonna do it again?
I'm gonna pump your brakes on that one.
Okay.
Herein lies some of my frustrations with the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, because with most organizations, when you pull off the inevitable, the not unthinkable, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
most of your organization got coaches. 1-0, we ain't done nothing. Okay, it's a long season. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We got one win. Just like we had to scuffle and fight to get that one. We got to do that next week. And then the week after that, the most important game is the next one.
Sure.
Okay. I'm not sure the culture in our organization allows for that. Okay. And I'm not going to go too much into that into this part. Because the way in my experiences with them, you won that game, you beat the Super Bowl champs. Now you're playing this team that went 6-10 last year. They got a nice hot side quarterback, but you beat Tom Brady. And may not prepare as well for that game as they did the game before. Okay. Because, it's the Chargers. That's the kind of game that we get snake bit on. Okay. Now, what am I hoping? Because you go with your head or your heart. My head says we're gonna wet the bed on that one because of what happened the week before. Okay. Hopefully, we find some confidence within ourselves. Like, man, we might have a pretty good team and do what we're supposed to do and beat that team convincingly. But I'm not sure on that one. Okay. So not gonna call a win on that one. Okay.
So we got.
I'm not gonna say we're losing it either. But I'm not ready to say we'll win that one because I don't think that we'll be focused enough on that game as much as we were the first game. That's just my opinion.
Well, go ahead and lock in, man, so we can give a full rundown on the schedule. So if we talking L.
Yeah, I think we'll take an L on that one.
Okay. It's fine. So we even it up at 1-1. Good win. A little disappointing loss, but caveat. Headed home. Headed home.
Home opener.
That's right. And who better to open up the season at home than the one and only heated rival, Philadelphia Eagles.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Where you at with it, Fred? Where you at with it?
Yeah. I think we bounced back strong today. I think we are embarrassed. We come back and we lose the game to the Chargers, a team that didn't make the playoffs the year before, but we beat the team that won the Super Bowl. And I think the Eagles, which have some issues going on, with a lot of, with the head coach, the organizational structures, it's a lot of things going on with the Eagles, and I think the Eagles will be what I will call a good dose of chicken soup. If you're sick, chicken soup make you better, right? You've heard that, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think the Eagles will be a nice, warm bowl of chicken soup. That's going to make all of our ills from the past week just go away. And I think we win that one kind of
spoken like 28-7. Okay. Spoken like a true Cowboy fan. Yeah. The Philadelphia Eagles get y'all right. So I'm assuming, man, you're not expecting much from Mr. Jalen Hurts in that matchup.
Well, I'm not saying that. I think Jalen Hurts is in a tough situation with a team that's not that talented. Of course, now he's got his Alabama teammate on the outside. So I'm concerned about that because I know they got a connection, and I'm always Roll Tide. Yeah. I just don't think they got enough to really challenge us from a talent perspective and from an execution perspective. I just think they're gonna have problems with us. Yeah. So that's why I think 28-7 in that game. 28-7.
All right. Nice. I mean, I can't disagree. I can't put up much of a fight on that. Cowboys will certainly be the superior team, in my opinion, as well, at home. Looking for a win. I can see it. So, we'll keep the trend going, man. At 2-1, you invite the Carolina Panthers, Sam Darnold, C-Mac, those guys, Matt Rule coming into Dallas. Where you at with it? What you thinking?
Matt Rule is a bright offensive mind that a lot of people might not know. A very innovative offense. That's gonna be a challenge for us. I think we can win that game because I think we owe Sam Darnold.
Okay.
Sam Darnold is probably the at the crux of probably one of the most embarrassing moments I've ever had as a Cowboys fan back in 2019. A team that had no business staying on the field with us. Sam Darnold went up and down the field on us through 3 touchdown passes, and they were winless at the time.
He did.
Very embarrassing loss.
He did.
Had no business losing that game.
He did that.
So maybe we get some get back on him in this game. Now I know they got Robbie Anderson, which he had in New York, which Robbie Anderson carved us up that game too. I don't know how. What's the running back's name? I don't know what his injury is going to be. That kid's special.
Absolutely. Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey. That kid's special. If he's 100%, he's going to be trouble.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be trouble.
Mm-hmm.
if he's healthy, he's going to be trouble. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I like us winning a tough, hard-fought game, like 24-21. I think we win. I think we can win now.
I'd have to agree. I like that. Okay. It looks like we're starting out well, man. We're about a quarter into the season and we're looking at 3-1. I like that.
Yeah.
That. Okay. Well, we're going to keep it moving.
All right.
In a third game trend at home. A lot of home games. I like that.
Well,
and we're going to...
When you get 2 straight on the road, you get 3 at home.
Like that. Balances it out. So, 3-1. Inviting the New York Football Giants in, and I'll let you get into that right there.
Well, the New York Giants sort of scare me from the standpoint that they may have just as much talent on offense as we have. Saquon Barkley is coming back.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley is a bad man.
He certainly is.
Let's not make no mistake about that. Their offensive line is suspect. I think that may be where we can maybe have our way. With DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory, and Michael Parsons. I think we make a wreak havoc on that offensive line. And I think if you put some pressure on Daniel Jones, I think he'll give you a couple. Okay. Now let's not get it twisted. He's got some skill position people on the outside that's just as good as ours. Okay. What's the kid's name? You would ask me. Now I do know that they got Ingram, very very underrated tight end. Rudolph that they picked up from the Minnesota Vikings. Very very good very good tight end. I don't think they still have Golden Tate, but they have.
They don't. But they do have Kenny Galladay.
Kenny Galladay who was with the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
Kid can play.
He can.
Okay. Shepard. Kid can play. Okay. There's somebody else that they picked up in the offseason. I'm having a brain cramp on them. But they've got skill position players on the outside.
They also have Darius Slayton, who's young.
Darius Slayton. Okay.
Coming into his own a little bit.
Coming into his own. Like I said, you got Saquon coming. So my thing, and then their defense is underrated. Their defense is solid, rock solid. Okay. My thing with the Giants is I think Daniel Jones is. I think he's talented, but I think he's mistake prone. And I think Dan Quinn's gonna dial up something for him, and I think he's gonna give us a couple. I think Diggs gonna pick off 1 or 2. Okay. I think we'll get a couple. And I think we're gonna win that one by like 10. I think it'll be like 28-18 or something like that.
Okay. So
that makes it 4-1, right?
It's 4-1, man. It's 4-1. I wouldn't contest much. And you got one more game before you head into your all's bye week, and you're gonna head up to Foxborough.
Yeah.
The Mac Jones show.
Yeah, the Mac Jones show. All right. Let me tell you what I think about New England.
Okay.
It's an organization that I've really never liked.
Not a surprise there.
But I like the way they do business.
Of course.
Okay. From a perspective of how they prepare.
Mm-hmm.
They come into the game, they know everything you're going to do and the things you thought about trying to do. They're going to be on top of that.
Indeed.
Okay. Bill Belichick may be the most prepared coach that I've ever seen in terms of when you play him, you're going to play left-handed. He's going to know exactly what you like to do, and he's not going to let you have that. Okay.
Fair.
When you factor in, at times, we tend to not be one of the more prepared teams.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have good attention to detail.
Mm-hmm.
We don't game plan well. We just sometimes seem like we just go out and play. This is going to be an interesting game because I think talent-wise we match up well with them. But if you're asking me if it comes down to Mike McCarthy versus Bill Belichick in terms of who can get his team prepared to play a game, I think we take an L on that one.
Okay.
I'm hoping I'm wrong on that one, but I just think that they always going to have an answer for whatever you try to do. Okay. I know they got a rookie quarterback, but maybe we can make some inroads there. Mac Jones, good enough that they thought they could let Cam go. I guess we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see about that.
He is a rookie.
We will see about
that. How good he is, he ain't seen everything.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of confidence.
Quinn is a smart defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Maybe he can mix him up a little bit, throw some stuff at him that he ain't seen.
Yeah.
That's going to be our chance to do that because he got a rookie quarterback. That's going to be maybe the chance, the thing that might give us a small chance to win that. But I think we might take an L there.
Okay. Well, fair enough. So we got 4-2 heading to the bye. Coming out of the bye, we're going at Minnesota. So you're going to head up to Minnesota. Coming off a bye. What's your temperature?
Minnesota's scary too. Kirk Cousins, could be a borderline Pro Bowl quarterback. He can make some mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Got Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson on the outside, and Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen is one of the smartest, craftiest wide receivers in the league right now.
Sure.
And he knows how to get open. Mm-hmm. Okay. But I think we make Kirk Cousins make a mistake or two. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think Dalvin Cook, maybe gets a couple of runs on it because I just think that dude's that good. But I think Zeke has a nice game too. And I think Dak has a great game, and I think our wide receivers, do well. And I think we win that game. I'm thinking, 27-24. Okay. I think we win that game.
And that's prime time Kirk Cousins if you into that sort of thing. Allegedly he doesn't play as well as he possibly could.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
So with that being said, man, we're gonna go 5-2, and we're gonna bring it back home for the Cowboy faithful, and Denver will be in town.
Denver Broncos. Denver could be a trap game. Mm. And I say that because I think the jury's kind of out as to how good they can be. I think Teddy Bridgewater is a guy that don't make mistakes. He's got good skill position players. You got Jerry Jeudy, P.J. Hamler.
Plenty of them.
And what's that tight ends they got?
Well, look, man, you got Jerry Jeudy, the route running specialist. K.J. Hamler, shifty, fast, elusive. You got Cortland Sutton, big target.
That's the guy I was thinking about.
Coming off of injury. Yep.
You got Sutton is a handful.
Noah Fant, probably one of the most athletic tight ends right now.
Yep.
He can certainly stretch that seam for those guys. Yes. And, Melvin Gordon in the backfield. I know they got a running back, Javonte Williams, out of North Carolina. So I think that's a sturdy offense.
Right.
With, a really solid defense. So, I would have to agree as far as that's a team that maybe, because we're talking about 7 games into the season, they don't sneak up on as many people because we're into the season now, but that's a team that, once we get to this part of the schedule, it could look like, hey, they might be working with something, man. So
and here's one thing that maybe nobody have forgotten. They got a guy that wears some funny looking glasses. That didn't play all last year. Maybe folks forgot about it.
He's back.
That Von Miller is a monster.
Oh yeah.
Okay. When that dude lines up, you best know where that guy is.
Oh yeah.
Because he will wreck your offense.
He certainly will.
He will wreck your offense. So,
he certainly will.
And then you got Bradley Chubb on the other side, who's no slouch himself.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be careful with Denver. That's all I'm saying. I think we can win that game. But man, if you don't find out, if you can't, you lose sight of where Von Miller's at, he's gonna wreck your life.
He will, and he's got a partner on the other side. So,
yes.
They'll be stretching the seams of those tackles. They'll be putting them to work all season. But with that being said, man, what you got?
I think we win that one. I think we win it. I think it's gonna be tough, hard fought. I think Denver's gonna be game. Like you said, they got a lot of talent. Their defense is, then you got Patrick Surtain, the guy we wanted. We're gonna be playing against him.
That'll be
that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be an interesting game. That's the game we could lose.
Yeah.
We could easily lose that game. So that's I'm not definitely saying that's a definite win, but I think we could probably win that one. But I would not be surprised if we took an L there. Would not be surprised.
All right.
But I'm calling for a win.
Calling for a win though.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that'll put you at 6-2. 6-2 with the Atlanta Falcons coming into town.
Yeah.
So, what you got?
Well, I think Atlanta's gonna struggle this year.
I can't disagree.
I think Dan Quinn's gonna have a number for the Falcons. If anybody knows the Falcons personnel, it's that guy. He knows Matt Ryan's limitations. He knows that guy's not mobile. They're gonna come with the heat. Julio's not there no more.
Julio is not there anymore.
Julio went right up 65. Okay, he's not there no more.
Yes, he did. It's a straight line.
So no, he's not there.
Mm-hmm.
And Julio could cover up a lot of things. That thing, he's a monster.
He's a monster.
He's not there no more. I like Calvin too now, Calvin, but he's not Julio. Let's get that straight.
Yeah.
Now, this kid they picked up out of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see what he working with. We're gonna see what he's working with, because he's gonna get every opportunity to put up some monster numbers. That kid can't be covered by no linebackers. I'm just gonna say that right now. Okay. Now you fool him with some coverages, fool him with some things or some of that kind of stuff. When he don't know which routes to run against certain things. You might get him on that, but if he gets lined up on one-on-one on a linebacker, you better call the priest.
He's a talent, man. He's a talent.
Yeah, that dude. I saw him in Florida.
He's a talent.
That guy, he's not playing.
Yeah.
He's not playing.
But I would say he's a talent, but we got to see how devoting the offense to getting the tight end open works.
Right.
Because defenses can present challenges to something like that. So
correct.
It'll be interesting to see how they line him up all over the field and try to get him the ball. But I think that's one of those guys with immense talent that I would just be much more I guess slower to the herd for me.
Right.
I just kind of want to see how that's going to work down there. But
it would have been interesting to see how they could have worked it if they'd have kept Julio. That would have been very.
Well, yeah, because that takes so much pressure off of him. So
Yes.
with
because when they drafted him, I was like, oh my gosh, some offensive coordinator gonna have a field day drawing plays with that guy down the scene.
Yeah,
you can't double cover Julio or Calvin. He's gonna have a field day with that, but then they couldn't work it out with Julio, so they lost Julio. So I think that's gonna be hard to overcome. But then, like I said, this kid can play, so we gonna see. We're gonna see.
Yeah.
But I think we win that game. I think it may not even be close. I think that's like a 30-14 game.
Yeah, I would have to agree, man. So it looks like, man, Uncle Fred has us at 7-2. This is making up to be quite a Cowboy season, by the way.
We'll see. We'll see.
And then you kind of walk into a buzzsaw. You head to Kansas City.
Yeah.
So I'll let you take the floor here.
Yeah. Look, man. Nobody's going 16-0. So I mean, you gonna take some L somewhere along the line. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Look, man. Number 15.
Generational.
Yeah, that's. Well, I think he graded out number 1 on the list. You might want to check me on that. I think I looked at that list a couple of days ago.
He was. As he should.
I think he was number 1.
He was.
Yeah. That got kind of good.
Yeah.
That got kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that kid in the Super Bowl with no offensive line, basically laying prone on the ground and hitting guys in the face mask from 45 yards away. That guy can do things with the football that this not supposed to be done. Okay.
He's a phenom, man.
It's not designed to be played that way. Okay.
Yeah.
But that guy can do that. That dude's laying 6 inches off the ground, prone, hitting guys in the face mask 35 yards away across his body. You're not supposed to be able to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's how special I think that kid is. That kid's something else.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs had 3 guys in the top 12.
Sure.
I think Kelsey was like 6, something like that. And I think Tyreek Hill was like 11, 12, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be tough. That's gonna be a tough game to win, especially at Arrowhead.
Yeah. Late into the season.
But I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
I look for us to play well in that game, though.
I would have to agree. I look
for us to play well in that game because what's their expectation level? Hey, dude, you're not gonna go in there and beat Showtime Mahomes.
You're right.
Okay.
Right.
But I think that's gonna be a game that Dak's gonna have something to prove. Like, hey man,
absolutely.
Hey, I know y'all think he like several generations ahead of me, but I can play this game too. I think that's one of them games where he's like, look, I know you the man, but I can play this game too. Mm-hmm. And I think Dak has one of those games like he had against the Cleveland Browns last year. He puts up some good numbers and played valiantly. But I think we might just come just a little bit short. Thinking like 38, 35 or something like that.
It definitely has, top 5 game of the year potential.
Yeah.
Especially, a little probably into the meat of the season when both teams are really feeling themselves and got their, momentum going. So for that reason, I think, strategically that's a good place to place that particular game in the schedule. So, I think I would have to agree. Really entertaining game, a lot to take from it from both sides, but the home team wins. And with that being said, 7-3, still looking good for the team.
Yeah, that's not bad. I think if you come to the league, you came to the season, you say after 10 games you're 7-3, I think you can take that.
Absolutely.
You would take that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And maybe it's nothing like being able to go home and play the Las Vegas Raiders next. We'll see.
I think that's a good bounce back game. That's Thanksgiving too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
we tend to play well on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That is true.
Maybe 2 games. I think they got 3 games now. I think it's a night game now. But there's a 12, 11 o'clock game, and then we're at 3 o'clock game. We've been playing in that slot for like 40 years.
Yep.
That's a game we tend to play well in because all eyeballs on us. Okay?
Yep.
Everybody, they ate their Thanksgiving turkey. They sitting around. They feeling fat and happy. Let's watch some football.
I'm sure.
The Cowboys are on.
Yeah.
We tend to play well in those games.
Yeah.
The Raiders are sneaky. David Carr is a good quarterback.
Pretty good.
Jacobs is he's a if you don't plan to tackle him, he plans to score. Okay. I remember him from playing in Alabama. He can play. He plays hard. He runs angry. Okay?
Absolutely.
The Raiders have probably, in my opinion, the second best tight end in the NFL, Darren Waller.
Waller. Yep. Waller.
Darren Waller is a handful.
He is.
If you blink one time, you might think that's Travis Kelce. That's how good he is. Okay. Very athletic. If your linebackers can't cover, he's gonna have a 200-yard receiving day on you. Okay. But I think the Raiders defensively leave a lot to be desired. And I think we're gonna score at will on them. Okay. So I look for us to maybe win, 34 to maybe 24. That's what I look for in that game.
Easy. Nice. 8-3. 8-3, man. 8-3. You head down to New Orleans next. Before you get into it, I don't know that New Orleans is set up to have a good season, man. It's just my opinion. I just wanted to throw that in before you get into your dissertation and everything. But I'm personally not really high on that team this season.
Well, here's what I say about that. To me, this has the makings of a trap game also.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why. On paper, you got, what's my man's name? Threw 30 interceptions last time he started the game.
Mr. Jameis. Famous
Jameis Winston.
Yes, sir.
33 touchdowns, 30 picks. Okay. Now, I will say this. Jameis Winston has talent.
Absolutely.
That guy. I don't know if anybody watched that. I know it's preseason. I know it was Jacksonville.
He can sling it.
That kid put some balls in place. I'm like, God, how he put that ball there?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Yeah, that kid can play.
Yeah.
What I think is that he was in a system when he was at Tampa Bay where he was just allowed to run amok. And any throw he wanted to throw, he was just allowed to make.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, nobody was governing him. Okay, in that way, all kids just throw out and fling. And some kids you kind of gotta, you can't just just let them, because they'll, some kids, if you let them eat what they want, they'll eat ice cream at breakfast. Okay.
Yeah.
So he has to be somewhat harnessed because he's got such a great arm. He can get balls in tight windows. So he sometimes takes chances that he shouldn't take. So on paper, and they may or may not have Michael Thomas. That's a weird situation there. He's got a pretty bad ankle injury.
Which plays into my opinion of those guys. Yeah.
He may be playing by this time. He may not.
Yeah.
Okay?
If
he's playing, that's a difference maker. Michael Thomas is one of the best underneath possession receivers, moving the chains, catching balls and breaking tackles, 17 to 20 yards down the field as anybody playing in the NFL. If he's playing, that makes it. I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Payton is one of the best game planners our game has ever seen. He's on par with Belichick in terms of getting his guys ready to play and drawing up offenses that you didn't prepare for.
Sure.
And so if it comes down to I got Mike McCarthy. You got Sean Payton, and everything else is somewhat even. Whew.
But I would contest, for the first time, Fred. Is everything else even?
I don't know. That's why I said if everything is even. I don't know if everything else is even.
I just look
I
at
know
the
they got a
team.
good defense.
Yeah, well, of course, absolutely.
I know their defense is stout. Gallamore, what's his name? Is it Gallamore? What's the corner's name?
Lattimore.
Huh?
Lattimore.
Yeah, Lattimore. Sorry, not
Marshawn
Gallamore.
Lattimore. Yeah, Marshawn.
What's the defensive end's name? I think he's one of the best defensive ends playing. If you
Cameron Jordan.
block him, he's gonna wreck you.
Yeah, Cameron Jordan.
Yeah.
Cam
Jordan's a monster.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't know where he's at. He's going to hurt you. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think offensively they leave a lot to be desired. But as I said, Sean Payton, bring this guy in off the bench to come up with stuff that you ain't thought about covering. Okay. So I think we can win that game. But if we go into that game overconfident, Sean Payton will have you with egg on your face. That's all I'm gonna say with that. I think we can win that game. But if we go into the game, half prepared, we could lose that game. Yeah. We could easily lose that game. But I look for us to win that. I think it's gonna be maybe tighter than what folks think. I think it's maybe 28-24.
Okay? Yeah, that's kind of one of them games, man. I would lean heavily. Not a betting man, certainly not a sports bettor, but I would imagine that's kind of one of them games, man. I would lean heavily on, the Cowboys winning that game, and also, due to real life factors, are we sure that that's actually going to be a home game for New Orleans?
That's a very good point. Very good point.
So
Yeah, very good point. That game very well might be moved. That's a good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
But I think we both agree, Cowboys, different sentiments, same result. And we're looking at 9-3. It's quite a season, man. Quite a season. And now we're going to head into the home stretch of the season. So we'll dive right in and we'll head to Washington.
Yeah.
For the first of two.
I think Washington presents a lot of problems for us.
A whole lot of defense.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a team that's going to be hard for us to beat because that defensive line is disruptive.
Yeah.
Chase Young is sometimes not blockable.
Yeah.
Okay. Jonathan Allen. I know that guy. I know that guy.
Absolutely.
All right. Defensively they present a lot of problems. And I think they're going to give us problems up front. I think we're not going to be able to run the football, and I think they're going to get pressure on us. I think we may lose this game. Okay,
that's interesting. Okay.
Ron Rivera is a tough, hard-nosed coach, and I think they may get us in this game.
Okay.
My only saving grace is that they got Ryan Fitzpatrick calling the signals.
Hey, are we sure that's who's actually playing by then? That's the interesting
that's
thing.
my saving grace. They may have Taylor Halifin
or Deshaun Watson.
He was actually pretty good in the playoffs last year. Maybe he may because Ryan Fitzpatrick sometimes he can play, he does some things, but then sometimes then he remembers he's Ryan Fitzpatrick. And then he next thing you know he's got 3 picks in the second half.
Well, man.
He was up 21-7. Now he's down 31-21. So that's my saving grace.
Yeah.
If he don't make no mistakes, or whoever they got playing quarterback don't make no mistakes, I don't know that we win that game. That may be a game I'm not real confident about. Okay. So I think we may take the L on that one.
I think you missed my my little spicy take. I'm gonna leave it though. Leave it where it's at. You know, that's kind of one of my low key destinations for Deshaun if they can, figure that situation out.
Oh well, yeah. Oh my gosh, they got some skill position players.
Absolutely.
They got this kid Samuels.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up getting from Carolina, who Ron Rivera coached when he was at Carolina, and so he knows how to, utilize him. And what's the kid's name from Ohio State?
Scary Terry.
Huh?
Scary Terry. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he got him a couple times last year. Yeah, he got Diggs last year a couple times.
Yeah.
McLaurin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, McLaurin. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, so they present some challenges.
Yeah.
They present some challenges. Offensively they got some challenges. They present some challenges, and then defensively they are disruptive. So yeah, I'm not real confident about that.
Okay.
So what's that? Was it 9-4?
9-4 is right.
Okay.
All right.
9-4.
We continue down the home stretch here, and back to back in the NFC East, we're gonna head to New York, face them football giants again.
New York football giants.
Yeah.
Again. The fact that we're playing at New York may play a little bit of that. Playing at New York and what is that? Late December.
Mm-hmm.
Might present some challenges, but I don't. Like I said, I'm not real high on Daniel Jones. I think if you get pressure on him, like I said, I don't know if the offensive line has improved any since week 4, 5. And so I think we win that game. I think we're just, from a schematic perspective, I think our defensive line and defensive personnel will win the line of scrimmage against their offensive line, and I think that's how we win that game.
Sure.
That's where I go with that.
Yeah.
Now the Giants' defense is pretty stout. They're going to make it tough for us to run and tough, but I think we score enough. I'm thinking like maybe, 24-16 or something like that. I think we score enough, and they maybe score a touchdown late to make it a one-score game. But I think we win that one by like 8.
Okay, that's fair. I like that. That's 10-4, man. That's 10-4. It's a great season already. I think if you ask any Cowboy fan like yourself, you take it. 10-4 is looking pretty good, man. So in a scheduling quirk here, you get Washington 2 times in 3 weeks. This time in your own backyard.
Yeah.
With a 10-4 record, which may prove to be pretty comfortable in the NFC East by this time. But
maybe.
That being said, 10-4, what you got?
I think we get some revenge from the game a couple of games ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think we get them at home, get them on that little fast track. We playing up there in Washington on that. Washington's got like one of those soggy fields, and it kind of slows the game down. Defensive lineman can like tee off on you. Yeah. Guys can't get out the backfield, things of that nature. We get them on this fast track with our athletes, and I think we can maybe have a little more success against their defense playing at home. And I think the motivational factor from maybe them beating us a couple of weeks earlier is going to play into that. And I think we win that game. I'm thinking it's going to be tight. I think we win it 27-20.
Okay.
27-20.
Take that. That's pretty fair. 11-4. 2 games left in the season. 2 games. I imagine the way the NFL would have it, these are really competitive weeks. These are the weeks where guys are really trying to determine and jockey for position, in a new landscape where only one team gets by. So those division winners are going to be jockeying for position underneath that bye week. And, I just think if the NFL gets their way as a whole, you get some really competitive games in these last 2 weeks. So with that being said, 11-4 You got Arizona Cardinals. You get them at home. So, whatever consolation that is late in the season, you get a home game. Kyler Murray comes to town.
Yeah.
The jitterbug.
Home game. It's a home game for him.
Yeah. He's going to run around really fast. He's going to be very exciting.
Kyler Murray's a handful. Kyler Murray's that's a time. Kyler Murray's a handful, man.
Yeah.
He gets in between them tackles. You can't see him. The next thing you know, he's 25 yards down the field. He's got a nice arm.
Yeah.
You got Hopkins. You got AJ Green on the other side. You got Christian Kirk. Okay.
Yeah.
Then defense, you got some guys. You got JJ Watt. Okay? I don't know what he's got left in the tank, but guys like JJ Watt figure out ways to get stuff done.
And if you
in crunch situations, because he just has moxie. He just has what he don't have in the athleticism that he used to have. He has in like other things.
And if you still got Chandler Jones, man, then
Chandler Jones, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we may take an L on that one, man. Arizona's good, man. I kind of got them making the playoffs.
Interesting. Well, some
I think it's a good chance we lose that game.
If you let some tell it, man, Kyler Murray may, be up for an MVP-like season.
Yeah.
So, we'll see, man.
He's frustrating when you're trying to play defense because you can't get a hand on it. You can't get your hands on it, And then it'd be one thing if he could do that. He couldn't throw accurately. Didn't have a strong arm. He's got that too. See? And he's got that Barry Sanders kind of like make you miss kind of things, and it makes you frustrated when you're trying to pass rush. I can see him. Guys got him hemmed up, and we ain't got him. And he breaks loose and throws it downfield to Hopkins for 50 yards because the guys thought he was sacked. And he gets behind somebody.
Yeah.
Those kind of plays. Yeah. He's good for 2 or 3 of those a game.
And he, I think, offensively.
And if you get it in Hopkins' area code, he's coming down with it.
Yeah, of course. And offensively, man, I think one of the things about him being so small, so elusive, with a strong arm, a cannon. It's like you can roll him out. You can do packages that kind of get him away from the offensive line. So, a guy like him having, a sort of middle of the road offensive line may not be as challenging as it would be for some other quarterbacks.
Correct.
As a guy that can just, break protocol, break a play down, and just get out of the pocket and make something else happen. So, that kind of guy, I'll be real interested to see that they've surrounded him with a lot of talent. You know, so and if AJ Green can be a guy that we know AJ Green can be in the NFL. I think you got 2 guys on the outside, and you got a nice slot receiver, and a Cliff Kingsbury that's going to throw the ball a ton.
Right.
So
and then also the thing too is what's scary about having Kyler Murray is you got an innovative play caller. Man, that zone read is always on the menu.
Yeah.
That is scary with a guy like Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Goodness, if you don't know if he's got the ball or not, and you hesitate for a second, he's 30 yards downfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that mesh point where he, that, and you're not sure if he has it or if he handed it off to Kenyon Drake or Edmonds or you don't know which one of those guys has it, and you hesitate for just a second. It's a 60-yard play. Just like that. Those are that poses. And so, I don't know that we can win that one. That's why I said I don't know about that one.
Okay. I mean, it's fair. I think there's always, toss-up games, and I would actually consider this one, one of those toss-up games on the schedule. I considered a couple others some toss-up games, but you gave the Cowboys a win. I wouldn't contest that because I do, think in a toss-up game this season, the pressure is kind of on for Dak to win those games and really establish himself as a guy who can go out and get you those toss-up games. So not really mad at the idea of him getting that done. So we sit at 11-5. We're gonna head to Philly for the last game of the season. Unfortunately, I'm sure the schedule makers would love that game to matter more. Just don't know that that's going to be the case as far as Philadelphia holding their end. But either way, I'll let you take it.
Well, on this game, what I'm sort of scared of on this kind of game is that which sometimes people don't never factor in when late in the season games like this is where a certain team is as it relates to the standings.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say we are, what are we, like, 11 and 4?
11-5, yep. Which may be good enough to win that division already.
We've already locked up, the division.
Yeah.
Okay? And, I mean, look, man, we done played 16 games. We got 17 games. You might want to give us some guys a blow. Okay?
Sure.
There's nothing wrong with that because you added another game to the season. That's another game of wear and tear. Okay? Sure. That's another game Dak has to play. That's another game Zeke has to play. That's another game Tyron Smith, who usually don't play a whole season. You might want to give him a break. Okay? And you got 2 games hit the lead in the division. I can see this as a game that we might lose because we're resting up, trying to get guys, healthy. We're trying to, because they hung us with this 17th game, and the Eagles got nothing to play for, and so they would love to kind of hang one on us. Jalen Hurts, man, found this way about it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes by the time the season rolls around, guys kind of find their niche. Maybe, he finds his way and maybe had started to win some games and get a little confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You always got to look at things like that towards the end of the season.
Sure.
So I think it's possible we could drop that one.
Mm-hmm.
From a talent perspective, I don't see how we could. But from a situational perspective of how the season maybe has